It's a practice facing growing controversy across the country. Police seizing money and cars and property from suspects when they're arrested.
Departments are using that money to supplement their own budgets. Now Denver 7 is investigating local cases where the city kept money from people even after dismissing the criminal charges against them. Chief Investigative reporter Tony Kovaleski is here with what you've uncovered on this, Tony.
You know, Eric, Ann, this is an investigation into power and money. We've discovered an interesting conflict in the law. One part says law enforcement needs a conviction to keep the money. Another says there are exceptions. Tonight, Denver 7 investigates questions about confiscation funds.
They just kicked in our door and were arrested, my wife and I.
Initially, I was arrested under interference with the police investigation.
Marcus Cosby and Edwin Kaus have two different stories with the same outcome.
Money got confiscated. It was never returned.
Well, they took the $1,800 in cash.
Edwin Kaus's marijuana possession charges were all dropped by the district attorney, but the city kept the cash it seized during his arrest.
They've never returned anything.
The law says upon acquittal or dismissal of a criminal action, the seized property shall be returned. But the law also allows for exceptions, and Marcus Cosby became one of those after an arrest for drug possession.
All the original charges were dropped from when the money was confiscated, so where's my money? Nobody knows what's going on.
Here's how that process works. Let's say police arrest someone they believe is selling drugs. That suspect has a lot of cash. Police believe that money came from selling drugs and it's the product of a crime, so they seize it. The suspected drug dealer then goes through criminal court. But to seize his cash, prosecutors must go through civil court. In many cases examined by Denver 7 Investigates, the civil case involving the cash gets resolved before the criminal case is even decided. That means in some cases, people who are never convicted of the charges against them still lose their property, and the law allows it.
I don't think that Colorado law should be set up working that way, and unfortunately we're seeing some examples where it's the truth.
Republican State Senator Kevin Lundberg is vice chair of the Judiciary Committee. He says loopholes in the law need to be fixed.
Justice from the civil government side should be punishing the wrongdoer, but holding the citizen innocent until proven guilty.
The civil action is totally separate from the criminal action.
Lamar Sims is the chief deputy district attorney in Denver. He says legally the DA has only 63 days to file the civil case, or else they'll lose the opportunity to seize the confiscated money. Defendants have about 21 days then to respond. If they don't, the DA's office can file to have their case closed and their cash officially distributed, regardless of the status of the criminal case. A lot of that money goes into a fund for prosecutor and police training and equipment. And Lundberg says that could be why proposals to reform the law face little resistance.
We found that there was a whole lot of pushback from law enforcement. They push back because they say, but look at all the neat stuff we got from these takings.
The way the red light system works.
As we reported last week, Denver's police department has used tens of thousands of dollars in confiscated funds in its PR department. Money that helped pay for this high-end editing suite used to make videos promoting the department. It's money earmarked for police training, but the department decided to use nearly $2,500 for entry fees for the local Emmy Awards.
Using the proceeds of crime to become the gold standard in communication by law enforcement is truly, I think, a great thing.
I'll let the people decide whether they think that's appropriate or not. You guess.
Ultimately, it's now up to state legislators and Denver's DA if the future holds changes in the law and changes in the management of confiscation funds.
We are always open to making sure that an injustice does not occur.
You know, you get into these things and you don't want to make no waves. You just don't want to make waves.
Some people get over it, but I'm not one to lose money and be content with that.
Couple items to leave you with tonight. If you think you've had money seized unjustly, the DA's office urges you to call, and it says it will review your case. Now, as lawmakers continue to grapple with this issue and with how all this money is managed, We will continue to follow that progress and keep you updated. Really interesting issue today.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
I can imagine that'd be frustrating for sure.
A lot of money.
All right, thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. We get stories like this from you and your tips. If you have a story you'd like Tony to look into, call our tip line at 303-832-0285.
Or email Tony@thedenverchannel.com.